Retell lecture, a very important question type in speaking. ये फोर्थ नंबर पे होता है स्पीकिंग में, और अगर इंट्रो को काउंट करें तो फिफ्थ नंबर पे आएगा। दो आते हैं, 10 मिनट का प्रिपरेशन, 10 सेकंड का प्रिपरेशन टाइम होता है एंड 40 सेकंड्स तक बोलना होता है। कंटेंट के 6, प्रोनाउंसिएशन के 5 एंड फ्लुएंसी के 5, टोटल हो गए 16। कुछ डूज एंड डोंट्स हैं ये मैं पहले भी आपको बता चुका हूं पिछले अपने लेक्चर में, रिटेल लेक्चर के। आप वहां पे वॉच कर दीजिए, नहीं तो यहां पे पॉज कीजिए वीडियो को और एक बारी पढ़ लीजिए ये क्या है। कुछ फ्रेजेस आपके लिए लेके आया हूं, ये फ्रेजेस की कॉपी पीडीएफ फाइल बना के मैंने इस सिस्टम में भी डाल दी है। अगर आप वीडियो के नीचे देखोगे तो आपको पीडीएफ फाइल नजर आएगी, वो पीडीएफ फाइल आप जरूर पढ़िए, सेव कर लीजिए उसे। In this lecture, the speaker was mainly talking about, the lecture was about, first of all, he mentioned, moreover, he discussed, further, he said, in addition, he highlighted, finally, he concluded that. कुछ प्रैक्टिस करते हैं लेटेस्ट एग्जाम्स में से। मैं ये प्ले करता हूं और इसकी प्रैक्टिस करेंगे, पहले सुनिए इसे आराम से।
Good morning, class. It's a beautiful spring day outside, isn't it? We'll soon be seeing the first robin of spring, and so, it's a perfect day to begin talking about migration. Migration is the main strategy that animals have for avoiding adverse environments and taking advantage of rich environments. Of course, there are other strategies, too: hibernation, for example, but far and away the most common way for animals to escape poor conditions and get to better ones is by migration, a mass journey from one place to the other. Now there are all kinds of migrations, but the most familiar one is the sort that our robins will be experiencing: a seasonal, latitudinal migration. In the fall, the birds fly south, and in the spring they fly north again. In the southern hemisphere, of course, this works in the opposite direction. In both hemispheres, migrants move toward the equator when the Earth chills and toward the poles when it warms. This is the way that species have been able to colonize, to use those subpolar resources that are seasonally difficult to access, that are unavailable to many living things for half the year. Birds are certainly the most conspicuous latitudinal migrants, and they're also the most awesome. Most famously, the Arctic tern, which is a small seabird, migrates from one pole to the other, all the way from the Arctic subpolar region to the Antarctic subpolar region and back again annually. These birds travel roughly 70,000 kilometers a year.
Okay, so now you have 10 seconds to prepare for it and then you have to speak on it. तो ये बनाया है इसका ट्रांसक्रिप्ट, आप इसे देख सकते हैं। यहां पॉज कर लीजिए वीडियो को। And this is a sample solution. In this lecture, the speaker discussed animal migration, the reasons why animals migrate from one place to another, and how they respond to seasonal changes. He mentioned that animals have strategies for survival, such as escaping poor environments. For example, many animals tend to fly to the southern hemisphere during the fall and return to the northern hemisphere in the spring. Like humans, they are sensitive to warm and cold seasons. This is why some birds migrate from one pole to other, famously traveling up to 70,000 kilometers annually. A very nice, simple sample. Now, what you can do with it is practice it. And it's a very simple thing to do, starting, ending. इस लेक्चर को मेरे लेक्चर नंबर 1 से कंबाइन करके देखना, बहुत फायदा होगा आपको रिटेल लेक्चर में। प्रैक्टिस नंबर 2 करते हैं।
And this illustration often used is the one of the monkeys at the typewriter. Okay, so we have a monkey sitting at a typewriter, and the claim here is basically if you leave chance and time long enough, you will get life. Don't worry about it. Yes, it's strange. Yes, it's wonderful. But leave enough matter, 600 million years on Earth, and you will have life. So the monkey's sitting at the typewriter, and the chances are eventually he produces the complete works of Shakespeare, so what's the problem? But he doesn't manage to do it in 600 million years. So what I decided to do to run the numbers is instead of saying type the complete works of Shakespeare, I just ran the numbers for how long would it take a monkey typing at one keystroke a second to type to be or not to be. That is the question. right? On average, how long is it going to take my monkey friend at 1 keystroke a second? I don't know how long you think that would be. Maybe you could have a guess. Would it be less or more than 600 million years, which is the period life on Earth is supposed to have emerged within? And when I ran the numbers, to be or not to be, that is the question, takes 12.6 trillion years to type just that phrase. And a DNA string, that complexity emerged by chance, undirected, within 600 million years. Again, it's mathematically possible, but it's so incredibly unlikely that it would have, that it tilts me in favor of the Christian story in which God creating life is simply a question of saying, let there be, and there was.
Okay, so now we'll see a sample answer. The lecture was a short and explicit summary of infinite monkey theorem. It was discussed with the equal importance that if the monkey has given enough time, he could write the complete work of William Shakespeare. The speaker also emphasized on the fact that by using the example of to be or not to be, that is the question, the monkey would probably need 2.6 trillion years to type. It was conducted by mentioning that, which is way longer than the period of life on Earth, 600 million years. Starting, ending, beach mein body. Very simple, very clear. With this, we come to the end of this video, and मैंने आपको different types की चीजें इसमें करवाई हैं. इस वीडियो को जो मेरी रिटेल लेक्चर की पहली वीडियो है उसके साथ में कपल करके सुनोगे तो दोनों का फायदा होगा. Thank you so much.